Hey guys, my name is Leanne Elliott. I specialize in yoga for sports, and with me is Niku Lowe, my fellow triathlete in training. We are both training for Old Mutual's DC Double Century Cycle Tour. So today we're going to take you through an line-based sequence with our focus on a cyclist's body. Please make sure that you have 2 blocks and a strap. If you don't have yoga blocks or a strap, that's totally fine. You can use 2 books or even 2 cans. And for a strap, you can replace that with a belt or even a scarf. We look forward to seeing you on the mat. Okay guys, so we will start in a Virasana. So that's a seated pose with your tops of your feet to the mat. Just bring your hands, palms face up, relax your shoulders. Give yourselves a moment here just to connect to the breath, to prepare the body for movement as we look to open and release our tight cycling bodies. Our first pose is an ankle stretch. So release your hands back behind you, fingertips to the floor. You can use a block underneath your hand if you like here. And just lift the knees slightly. It does not have to be the deepest or the biggest lift ever. We just want to stretch into the tops of the ankles. If you want to level this up, what that will look like is engaging your core, rocking back, and then bringing the hands to prayer. But essentially, we're looking for the stretch here at the top of the ankles. Different bodies will ask for different things. Stay here for one more breath. And then gently release. Lower the knees down. Lower the hips to the one side and bring your feet forward as we set ourselves up for Baddha Konasana. So once you've lowered your knees down, you can lower one of your hands to the side, hips to the side, float your feet forward. We're going to move to a Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Soles of the feet touch, knees nice and apart. Once again, different bodies. If you find yourself really struggling, you may sit on a block. But essentially, if you can keep your sit bones on the ground, we're going to stay here. Lengthen the crown of the head and let gravity draw your knees down so we get the stretch of the inner adductors. Pause for a moment. And then change, extend your legs out. So straighten out the legs to the sides. We're going to stir the pot. So it's quite nice to take your hands and just pull the glutes out from underneath you. Feet as wide as you can get them. Flex the feet. And then almost as though you're stirring a pot. We're going to start with small little stirs, moving the whole body. And then we're going to make these little stirs a little bit bigger as we go. We're going to do 5 in this direction. You might go all the way back and bring it all the way forward. As you do so, you're engaging different muscles in your hips and you're stretching different muscles. At the end of your 5th one, this is your deepest one of them all. Bring it back to center. Pause. Change directions. So we're going to make them bigger as we go. And I'm just going to show you from the front for a slightly more advanced variation. So if you're going quite flexible, you can bring your chest all the way down. Hello, Niku's foot. Bring it all the way back. Okay, last one. Come back to center. Okay, we're going to move to Jani Shashasana, a pose to stretch out the lower back as well as the hamstring and the hip. So let's bend the right knee, sole of right foot to the left inner thigh. Okay, you want to get that heel as close as you can to the groin. Twist as though you want your spine to align to your left leg, and then gently fold forward, flex that left foot. Different bodies here, nice long straight spine. You want to feel these muscles here on the right side of lumbar. And for me, the trick is to bring my right shoulder towards my left foot. That's going to give me a nice, just a deeper stretch into the right side of my body. One more round of breath. Change, switch legs, extend your right leg, bend the left knee. There we go. Now lift, lengthen the spine, twist over the right leg, and gently release forward. Draw that left shoulder towards the right foot, flex the foot. But now you should feel the multifidus muscles on the left side of lumbar, so these where my hand is, possibly your hamstrings a little bit. One more round of breath. Change, bring it back. Cross your shins. Place your hands, roll over to a child's pose. There we go. Knees as wide as your mat. Sit bones to the heels, and it's quite nice to practice child's pose with the block underneath the hands. And what this does is it just gives us a deeper or gentler stretch into the front of the chest here. Let your body be nice and heavy. Deep breath in. Exhale completely. End of the next round of breath, tuck the toes. Float the knees, downward facing dog. So as you can see here, Nico's got a lot of weight in his shoulders. Lengthen your arms. Press your torso back towards your thighs. You can have a generous bend to the knees. Nico's demonstrating this perfectly. Drawing the weight to your legs. So we're getting a nice stretch to the upper body here in the front of the chest, the back of the legs. Okay, we're going to move to a half pigeon. So the in-breath, raise your right foot, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your right knee outside of your right wrist. I like to bring my heel close to my left hip, top of left foot to the mat. Please be careful how you align your knees here. We want to avoid injury in the knee joint. So if you need some support, you can put a block or a pillow underneath this right hip. Draw your shoulder blades together, lift the chest. Okay, so we're getting a stretch to the front of the left side. We're going to add to that. Bend the left knee. Reach the left hand back and can you take a bind to the inside blade of the foot, adding a sailboat. Twisting through the spine. All the time we spend rounding over our handlebars, we're now opening into the left front shoulder, left front chest. Stay for one more breath. Gently release it without slingshotting that leg. There we go, nice control. Bring your weight to your right hip. Sweep your left leg across as we move over to Gomukhasana, cow face. See if you can stack your left knee on top of your right. There we go. Sometimes for me, I kind of walk my hands forward, lift up, squeeze my knees together, then come to a seat, and I'll show you what that looks like. So my knees might do really weird things, and I come forward, squeeze my knees, and then bring my sit bones back. For some of us, this is perfect. For others, this might feel a little bit too intense, and especially if you're spending a lot of time on your bike, in which case you might just straighten the bottom leg. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, gently release forward. And here we're stretching into glute med, these side or your hip stabilizers on the side of the hips. And you can go, you don't have to go all the way forward. You can go here if you're getting enough. Please listen to your body. One more breath. Change. Inhale brings you up. The right shin parallel to the top of your mat. And the left shin on top of the right. You want a foot and a knee in each hand. So I've got quite open hips. I can stack my knee on top of my foot perfectly. You might need to take a block and place it underneath that left knee. I think Niku's doing that. Give that leg some support. And for some of us, this is enough, and we'll stay here. Alternatively, you'll fold forward, forearms to the shin, or come all the way down. Different bodies, once again, feel what feels good for your body today. And then change, bring it back. I'm going to move out the way. Remove the props. And imagine you're on a bed of hot lava. Float that left leg without letting it touch the ground. There we go, beautifully done. Hands underneath the shoulders or onto the blocks. Downward facing dog. Wiggle the hips. Let's take that to the left. Inhale raises the left foot, three-legged. Exhale draws the left knee to outside the wrist. Shin vertical, beautiful. Top of your right foot to the mat. Walk your hands back a little bit more. Take a nice full breath in. So from this angle, you'll see this bind perfectly demonstrated. Bend the right knee. The right hand reaches back, takes a bind to the inside blade of the right foot. You see how his thumb is up. So there's this opening here of his chest. Just take the wrong bind, so with your thumb down, so flip. See how when there's this twist in the arm, there's not this opening of the chest. So be mindful that your thumb is up, your palm is faced to the side, so you get this opening from your pectoral, your collarbones. Stay for one more. Perfect, thanks Niku. Gently release. Roll your weight to your left hip. Float your right leg up and over as you find your Gomukhasana cow face, There we go, stack the knees. Okay, so you want And just be mindful, it's the outside blade of the right foot that's on the mat, not the sole of the foot. So you're looking to get into these outer hips, the hip stabilizers. You want your feet, essentially the traditional pose for this is that your feet are at equal distance from the hips. If you're anything like me, my hips are quite tight from cycling, so, as tight as they've been. So my one foot's a little bit further, and that's perfect. Please listen to your body. Feel into it. Take a nice deep breath in, lift. And when you're ready, fold. I'm going to ask Nico to just use some props. There's a version, if this feels too much, you can take your block or your pillow and place it between the thigh and the belly. And what that does is it just gives the body some more support. Something to round over. Breathe. Relax. Change. Inhale brings you up. We're going to move into our fire log. So the left shin parallel to the top of your mat, the right shin on top of the left. There we go. Perfect. Maybe you take your block or your pillow. It's quite nice to use a pillow here. Practicing at home does offer some benefits. And you're either going to stay there or you're going to gently fold forward. What feels good today? Breathe. Relax the body. Notice where you're experiencing discomfort. Take your awareness there. Breathe into that space. One more. Change. Release the props. Float that right leg back. Remember, hot lava. Use the core. There we go. Hands to the blocks. Tuck the toes. Downward dog. Wiggle out the hips. Give yourselves a moment here. Then gently lower the knees. Child's pose. Hands onto the blocks. Let these outer armpits rotate down to the ground. So we're opening through the back of the shoulder blades. Change. Let's bring it up. Malasana. So see if you can bring your Malasana towards the top of your mat because we're going to roll down soon. There we go. So squat pose. Really essential, Niku's demonstrating this so well, that your knee and second toe aligns. The dropping of the knee in or out puts a lot of stress and pressure onto the patella. We want to protect our knees as much as possible. Let the sit bones be heavy, and once again, if you're not super flexible, that's fine. You might be sitting up here. If your heels are lifting, that's totally fine. You might take your blocks underneath your heels. Essentially, it's quite nice to roll your mat up and then come to find your squat or your Malasana here. You can be anywhere that feels appropriate. Press the inner arms to the inner thighs. So you get this deeper stretch to the inner groin. This is the body's natural way to sit. Stay for one more breath. Okay, we're going to use a little bit of balance, a little bit of trust. Reach your hands forward, so counterbalance as you lower your sit bones towards the ground. There we go, happy baby. All the way down, take a bind to the outside blades of the feet. And essentially here, you're pressing the feet to the sky, but you're pulling, using your strong arms to pull the knees into the armpit. And as we breathe, we're massaging the digestive system here, but we're also stretching the lower back, the inner groins. Stay for one more. Release the arms, legs nice and wide, straddle. Okay, we are going to move into a supine twist with eagle legs. So it is the right leg over, cross at your thighs. And you can try, see if you can hook the right foot behind the left calf. It's not necessarily possible for all of us. Scoot your hips to the right side. Lower your knees to the left. Okay, I like to put a block underneath my knee to give it some support. And then you're looking over the opposite shoulder. So we're getting this beautiful stretch from the right armpit down the side body, a little bit into the glute, the side of the leg. Breathe. Inhale, gaze through center. Legs follow. Open them up, straddle. Let the toes be nice and heavy. Switch sides, cross the left leg over, cross at thighs. Maybe you can cross at the calf. Scooch the hips to the left, knees to the right. Once again, I'm going to give him some support here. He's going to twist through the body. Relax. One more breath.
I just want to go back.
Inhale brings your gaze back through center. The legs follow. Knees into the chest. Just the knees in. Slide your hands to your shins. There we go, down to the ankles. Place the feet behind the sit bones. Feet are hip width apart. A little bit more in. There we go. So the heels and sit bones align. Now internally rotate your inner thighs, engage your core, and float your hips by pressing your knees forward using the psoas, these hip flexors, to lift. Okay, we're going to go for an extended bridge. So you'll take your block and slide it either on its lowest or its second lowest setting underneath the sacral plate. The sacral plate is this big bone here. So we don't want it in the lumbar spine. We want it here underneath the sacral plate. Perfect. Okay. For some of us, this is perfect and we're happy to stay here. We're stretching out the whole front line of the body. It's quite nice to extend your legs forward. There we go. You'll get this beautiful stretching here, and some of us will stay here and this is enough. Alternatively, you'll extend your arms back. An extended bridge pose. I see Niku smiling. He must be enjoying this pose. It's one of my favorites. And just let the whole body relax on the ground. Such a great pose where we invert the digestive system, where we stretch out all the organs, the front line of the body, the myofascial plane, which runs from your toes all the way up the front of the legs, of the abdomen, all the way to your eyebrows. Then we'll come out of that the way we came in. Release the arms. Bend the knees. Press the feet into the mat. Lift the hips. Remove the block. Gently roll down your spine one vertebra at a time. Relax the whole body into your Shavasana. Let the palms face up. Let the toes rotate out to the sides. The chin is tucked. The neck is long. Allow yourself these few moments to just relax into the shape. Explore. Take your awareness through your body from your toes, the soles of the feet, the ankles, through the lower legs, the knees, the upper legs, through your hips, your waist, the lower ribs, all the way to the upper ribs. Bring your awareness into your armpits, your upper arms, elbows, forearms, all the way down to your fingers. Draw your awareness back to your collarbones, your neck. Notice the energy in your jaw as your jaw clenched. Relax your ears, along your eyebrows. Notice that space between your eyebrows. Is it bunched up in a frown, or is it nice and soft and relaxed? Take a full breath in. And a big sigh out. As you gently start to bring your awareness back to the body. Invite movement, starting small. Rolling the eyes, wiggling out the fingers and the toes. Maybe you bring some movement to the neck. The in-breath reaches the arms back behind you. Extend your legs forward, full body stretch. And the exhale brings the knees into the chest. And you can decide, either roll backwards and forwards into a seat or roll to the side. Bring yourself up into a comfortable cross-legged seat. Closing your practice with your hands in prayer in front of the heart. Bow the head. Thank yourself for taking the time to connect to the body. Kind of like a little tune-up when we take our bikes in for a service. Allow yourself to just be. Thank you for joining us today. May you have an absolutely beautiful one. Namaste.